I think we may actually have a large truck out there somewhere. Yes, we do. What are you up to? You are hauling coal. Very well. Can I make it so that we don't allow partially loaded trucks here? Alright, we've got our first chunky boy. Why on earth did you put it there? Please no. I gave you this for a very specific reason. Oh my lord. See, this is one of the things. It shouldn't have allowed that to happen, given that it had belts. Oh, nice. We've gotten to the point where we now have enough food, it seems. We need 10 food every 60 seconds. We're definitely not producing that, but... well, maybe. With the 2 different crop types, possibly. I think I may just scrap 2 of them. Problem is they can't actually get there, so... oh no. What happened? Did they both just get nixed? Oh, but it did get over there. Yeah, I'm going to tell it to go scrap. And I am promptly going to tell them to make some big excavators. I think the other one just vanished too. Yep, sacrifices to the Tater Crater have been made. Off they go, hopefully. Add another 2 trucks, another 2, another 2. Go. To focus on coal if you're able to. Right, that should have freed up an awful lot of vehicles. Continue bringing this down. Ooh, that's going to be a rough one. You're going to get yourself stuck, aren't you? Yes, you are. Oh, not too much I can do. Alright, let's send out our ship to explore a little bit more. I'm so bad at doing that. I'm awful at doing that, actually. Why is there not enough maintenance now? Okay, so we've swapped one problem for another. In that we now lack... this. Let's upgrade you. That may then produce enough. If not, then I'll just have to set up a second one. Shouldn't be terribly bad. There we go. We'll come back and check in on our maintenance in a little bit. Make sure everything's going okay. Yeah, I really, really strongly feel that you are making a mistake. I don't believe that this is what you hope it will be. Aavak, my headcanon almost became halflings encountered the raft from raft, joined up and found a ship, colonized an island into an industrial paradise, steadily were genetically enhanced into duplicants, built an interplanetary portal, and finally got stranded on an asteroid. And then built a ship to take them through a temporal tear, upon exiting which they immediately crash-landed on an alien world full of bitey little critters that wanted to suck up pollution in order to breed. It was a very, very crazy time indeed. As soon as that ramp is complete over there, then I can start expanding out that farm. But for now, I guess it's okay. How? What? You're making it worse. How are you making it worse? Why are you making it worse? I just don't even. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Precisely the problem right there. Hey, what do we get? Some more pops. Ooh, and some more places to explore. Okay, I'm on board with that. Ooh, I might not have that much more room for pops in the city over here, though. Might be a tricky one. But at least we're now getting up to the point where we've got chunky vehicles. I'm very happy about that part. Because they can carry an awful lot of gubbins. Many, many layers of gubbins. Captain of Industry is my I'm way behind schedule, the game. Yes. To be fair, there's much more of this game that isn't building walls. I was just experimenting with because they're fairly new to me. But with these workers, I do believe we can now unpause the glass manufacturing. Get everything rolling. Why are vegetables not being carried up here? Curious. Well, how about we upgrade this one then? How about no export on that? Or import for that matter? I don't want my trucks refueling in that because that should be reserved for the ships. Maintenance is plummeting, is it? Oh yes it is. We're completely out of copper. Why? Because we're completely out of copper. Right, okay, so we're going to need to bump this up in priority. Issue being, almost all of my coal is going to everything down here. Could I upgrade this? I absolutely could, actually. I lack more than enough rubber. It should have more than enough, construction part 3s. I'm curious. Oh, what I like is the Unity. Never mind. I understand now. There you go. Now this is going to look nice, I think. Take a bit of time, but it will get there. Is it building up from this side? Yes, it is. Oh. Actually, I take it back. It's not going to look nice. It does this weird thing where it builds it layer by layer. There we go. And now, oh, there we go. It's like reverse dominoes. I guess I could set up a wood burner as a backup coal source. That's actually a nice visual. I don't think head-on is as nice to look at as just a little bit to the side. Just so you've got a little bit of added depth. Donk. That is much better now. By doing this, we're going to see much more aggressive splits. Well, to be fair, it would have split evenly regardless, but it should help out a little bit now. Really quite desperately need to see that coal heading down there, though. Where are you going? Oh, my lord, really. Yeah, we might actually legitimately run out of maintenance because coal has been giving priority elsewhere. How many more vehicles can we make? Working on the second one there. Right, let's get that big chunky boy over here. Go, go, go. At the very least starting to make their way down now. Ooh, actually, they're going to cause themselves a mischief, aren't they? Yes, they are, because they're reaching down their balls. See, that's where retaining walls would help. I have to not do that then. For now. % on maintenance. Where are you taking this? We off to. Okay. Looking hopeful. Possibly. Maybe yes. Almost certainly yes at this point. There we go. Certainly not ideal, but it got us there in the end. But it won't have gotten us there in time. Can I trade for copper plate? I can. Let's get that brought down as quickly as you're able. Oh, I just had an idea of how I would want... Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I've got a bit of an idea now how to use the retaining walls to make this work. It wouldn't work on that outside wall, but it would work on the inside. Issue is I haven't really built in any kind of ramps around here. Well, that's fine. We'll just keep having to extend the ramp out in this direction. We can get the same overall effect that way by doing that. Just making sure that we're always... Yeah, that looks right. All the way down to here. Let's get those away. That we're always pushing back in that direction rather than inwards, but we'll see. We will see. I don't want to faff around with the retaining walls anymore. Right, are there any other obvious places that we could set up belts to try and take the load off our logistics fleet? Obviously, iron scrap is one that we could do. That would come from here. We could take it up and over and just bring it down and connect it up on that side. It's absolutely one we could do. In fact, if we go from here... all the way up there. And all the way down to the side. Back around. Once that's done, that takes off another load from us. Copper, that's a little bit too far away, and I see no reason of moving copper smelting over there. I would end up holding far more than I would save by doing that. At this point, we just get rid of these as well. Now then, this gigantic excavator is doing a ridiculously good job, but I would like you to prioritize the coal where you can. And let's get another one down here. Also on the coal. Working through a couple more trucks now. I'm going to need to sacrifice some more of the vehicles soon. For the time being, this is good. Just wait for some dirt. Hey, Clive Rip, how you doing? There we are. Oh, where's the other one? On its way. And that's all finished. Perfect. No longer need to worry about any trucks having to take the broken glass or the scrap iron out. So that's going to save a little bit for us. And at this stage, I actually couldn't tell you if this is enough now. Genuinely hard to say. One thing I wouldn't mind doing is bringing the recyclables from this over here automatically. Since that does seem to fill up fairly, and it's a really constant supply of recyclables too. So, to that end, let's go ahead and do something along those lines. Honestly, this bridge could do with being moved. Let's break that down. I don't have much Unity, but I should be able to pull it away and then replace it. Let's pop this over here. Can I quick build it? No. Much of a shame. This way I can line this up a little bit better. So that's in the right place. It is. And pause. We'll probably want another ramp around here, but I could bring this up and along and just make use of the fact that most trucks are going to be able to go underneath it, even if the excavators can't. I'm going to say, sure, we'll pop that there. And then we're going to pop in a belt balancer here. The U-shaped balancer. And I will, it doesn't really matter which direction it comes from, really. Because there's a lot of this being delivered here, an awful lot. If I can get that moved a bit more quickly, then that's going to take off a completely superfluous trip, really. That little, although the trucks aren't really having to do too much there, in a way it's better to reserve the trucks for the really long trips. Why are you stuck? Oh dear. It was an earth slide. Well, that is unfortunate. Let's get another big chunky truck down here to try and dig them out of it. Working on the next one. I could quick deliver, sure. I like that little truck crossing the bridge that no longer existed. It's fine. It believed. It's all you need. Just a bit of belief. Alright, here's a bit of a... Since we've been talking like real life quite a lot in this stream. How many of you, as a child... I mean, maybe you do it as an adult, I don't know, but so don't. I'm not casting any shade if you do. But how many of you had dreams about flying, and upon waking, were certain that the dreams were real, and believed that you could fly? I think after a point, you realize that, yeah, okay, this does make no sense. That you know, this must be a dream. Which is why I said how many of you as children did it. Because I think children are a little bit more susceptible to that. But miracles are real. What if? Especially if in the dream, no one saw you do it. And at that point, it becomes quite a possibility. Oh, my lord. Really? Are we out of power? Wow. What happened for that? No coal. Well, craptastic. Alright. I mean, for the time being, I can quick build a couple of extra diesel generators, but I'd kind of rather not have to rely on them, but... Someone pause those. I haven't had dreams where I could fly, but I did wake up several times after thinking I was falling. Flying, no. Falling? Oh, yes. For a while, it was every night. No, I'm not talking about, like, nightmares about falling. I'm talking about, you know, just genuinely believing that you could fly. Like, the dreams feeling real. Whatever your brain could imagine being the feeling of flight or the feeling of gliding, what have you. Usually some sort of strange, well, for want of a better word, some sort of strange anomaly in your equilibrioception. It felt different to normal locomotion. I definitely had dreams like that when I was little. And for a time, my mother was quite concerned that I would throw myself down the stairs to prove it at some point. Because I was quite vexed that no one understood that I can actually fly. Very, very fortunately, I never actually did try to prove it, but I was very certain. Yeah, this is a constant problem. Why is that falling down behind them? That part I can't understand. Right, how about I remove this for now, just have you focus on these other bits. Just focus on these locations for now. Try and get that ramp a little bit more sensible. Because that seems to have held everything up. Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I kind of specified when you were younger. Because again, I think as you get older, you kind of understand, yeah, okay, so that, no matter how real that dream felt, clearly it was a dream. For a number of reasons. You start to be able to consider other information. Even if the dream is incredibly real feeling, like, you are cognizant of the fact that, yeah, I was moving between point A and point B and I had no memory of the travel between the two places. Or I don't remember going back to bed and yet this is where I am now. So what happened between me flying down the street to being in bed? Why are there weird gaps in my memory? And you can start piecing things together, no matter how real it felt. You're like, yeah, there's too much information, too much evidence to the contrary. But as a child, you might be much more inclined to believe in the weird and wonderful. Wastewater treatment done. Right, okay, the ramp is going a little bit better now. There's a reasonable amount of work here still to do, but I'm getting a bit more confident about them being able to do it all. A lot of this is dirt, sadly, but... Oh, 6 or 7, I full-on leapt down the stairs, arms forward like Superman. Because you believed that you could if you just thought hard enough, or just because you were very carried away role-playing being Superman? I had a dream when I was diving, and when I woke up, I was in my car with it running. And that was after working a 12-hour shift at work. Ooh, that would scare me. Those gaps in cognition. These large excavators are making very quick work of that now. Alright. Our logistics fleet is becoming more stable, which is great to see. But there are lots of problems in this current setup, I need a lot more coal moving. I've for too long been faffing around with other things. Way too long, actually. Let's go down to level 20. Hopefully we can get this sorted. In the meanwhile, though... Well, if I were to upgrade this, I guess that would be one way of getting it, because I'd be able to have a lot of fuel gas. That would be nice. Well, while everything else is sorting itself out, let's have a think of how we're going to set this up. Now, I've played around with lots of different ways of designing the diesel process. I'm going to slow it down a bit. It's a very easily it's easy to conceptualize just building it in a long pipeline, but it would also be easy enough to have it more like a production line in Factorio. And what I mean by that is it's very easy to do something like this and have each one of these buildings in just a single pipe. Just going down. All the steam coming in one side, the sour water going out there, and then other products moving around. Alternatively, you can have all of these lined up and their product all going out to the side where it gets split off and then redistributed down to the next line. And so everything comes in from the side, everything goes out to the side for each stage, rather than having the input oils go in here and then run down the system forward. What do you think, chat? Which one would you rather see me design? Because it's going to be a larger design than I've made previously, just because early access has so much more going on with it. But which one would you prefer? I'm going to have to fill in that side bit a little bit, aren't I? Oh, well, do I though? Is that actually necessary? I would argue that it probably isn't. Since they used mostly rock here, it's actually fine. Did I ever need this? That's a weird one. Whichever makes you feel happy. Oh, that's lovely of you to say, Demi. Which is the worst kind of answer I know? No, it's an okay answer. Pertinent to the question, is it more a tea or coffee day? Well, I haven't had any coffee. Other states 1, 2, 3, 1-to-1 ratio. Yes, they are. They are indeed. Crude oil goes in at 54 units, produces 48 units of medium oil, 6 units of heavy. 48 units of medium oil produces 12 units of light oil, 12 units of light oil produces naphtha and fuel gas. The prettiest, then. Very well, we'll do that. The prettiest it is. I will have short... I could just jam them right up against each other, but I'm going to have short gaps. And we are going to delete these. I want 3 spaces between. The middle, that is. Now, steam is going to be required to move at the highest volume, so we'll have a pipe number 2 for steam. Running on the ground. Sour oil will need to be sent somewhere. These are never going to exceed the throughput of a tier 1 pipe, so we can use those for the connectors between these locations. 2 of these will produce enough sour water to run through, where are you? A sour water stripper, which itself will also use a bit of steam and will produce sulfur and ammonia and a bit of water as well. However, it is going to probably be easier to collect those down here, if I'm what I'm thinking. Now, usually I would have put them up here at the top, but I'm not so sure that that's the right place anymore. That being said, the water is if I'm bringing the steam down in this direction, the water's going to need to go up, so we can do that. I want to leave a decent bit of room, though. So, steam will continue on down this journey, and will branch off like so. And sour water will need to come up. Now, how much sour water? 18 each, so not more than 60 per 60 seconds. So I'm going to have that go this way and up. And all the way along. Let's go out one more and then down. Exactly the same on this side. There we go. So that takes care of the sour water. Now we've got ammonia. We will have sulfur, ammonia, and water coming out. Not enough unity. Why? What were we using? We go and have a look. How's everything going? Are they doing okay over on this side? They're deep into the dirt right now, which is a pain, but they are flattening it though. It's a shame that that part is there, but it is what it is. Just gonna have to let that be. I should be able to start digging into the rest of this area now. And hopefully they will take care of that. I'm actually going to send this one off to be scrapped though. Scrap you. And scrap you. And we'll ideally get some bigger excavators down there. Yeah. But back to our design. Would it make more sense to leave room for the naphtha? Well, the thing with the naphtha is I'm going to need some naphtha, no matter what. But you might be right. Maybe I should extend this out a little bit further. Let's have a look at that. So the rubber maker requires the sulfur and the naphtha. So, in a way, 12 naphtha every 60 seconds and 3 sulfur every 60 seconds. This will produce 12 sulfur every 60 seconds and 12 naphtha every 60 seconds. So one of these will be used up to make rubber until we don't need rubber anymore. And some of the sulfur will be used up, but not all. Let's have a look at the sulfur. What can I use it for? I can make acid, so water and sulfur into acid. 6 sulfur, 3 sulfur. Ultimately, by the time we get here, they're not going to be 1-to-1 ratios. No, at this point, which is a bit of a shame. So we're going to have naphtha exiting this area. And then we're going to kind of want to use it. But let's see if we can't make something a little bit better for that, sure. So the things that we can use naphtha for are rubber, which is what we're going to be using it for. We can also combine it with some steam to make some extra fuel gas. Quite a lot of fuel gas, actually, and some sour water. Or I can use it in a boiler. But honestly, I would rather turn either the naphtha into more diesel and fuel gas, but the problem then is where am I going to get the hydrogen? I can use electrolysis to do that. The ammonia coming from the sour water stripper. One sour water stripper, because right now one sour water stripper will run continuously. So it'll always be producing 12 naphtha every 60... sorry, yeah, 12 ammonia every 60 seconds. And that would give me 24 nitrogen and 12 hydrogen every 60 seconds. Which would then allow me to use the 18 of the naphtha that I'm producing, because again, I'm producing 12 here. So I'd have a little bit left over to run in the rubber maker. The rest could then be broken down into extra fuel gas and... where are you? Extra fuel gas and diesel. There's certainly no reason not to do it that way. But that would use up the entirety of the ammonia that we're generating. Assuming it was running full bore, which it wouldn't always be doing. Because we would be producing naphtha, we would have a massive production of diesel. It's just what we prefer. Because the thing is, I want fertilizer more. Ultimately. For that I need 6 ammonia and 18 nitrogen. Now, interestingly... if I was running 2 of these in tandem, then only one would need to be feeding... that would allow me to run 2 sour water generators, and only one would need to feed the ammonia into the process to produce the hydrogen. Because that would allow me to change a little bit more than 1 stack's worth of naphtha into diesel, which would mean I'd have a little bit left over to kind of top up my rubber supply at all times. I'd probably give priority to the rubber supply, honestly, and then only break down the naphtha when needed. And a second one, so occasionally I'd be producing a bit of ammonia because I just wouldn't have any hydrogen to make or nitrogen to make. But the other one then would be able to plow all of its ammonia into that. But the interesting thing with this process is that I would be able to produce enough nitrogen to run 2 chemical plants producing fertilizer. Enough nitrogen and enough ammonia from the second one. So, yeah, no, this would actually kind of work, but it would only work if I make this pretty large. It would have to be a fairly large setup to run 2 of these continuously. But yes, we could absolutely do that. We would also be recycling water, which we could then use in the fertilizer. This is a really interesting idea. The fuel gas then, I mean, we're already using fuel gas in other areas. What do we want to use the heavy oil for, though? Because the thing is, we could break the heavy oil down into more naphtha. Because that produces 18 naphtha and 12 fuel gas. Issue is, we would be producing... Well, actually, 2 of these would produce enough heavy oil for me to break that down into either diesel and fuel gas or naphtha and fuel gas. But if I was just going to use the naphtha to make more diesel, I may as well go for that one. Which leaves the naphtha kind of sitting pretty again. Yeah, we don't have the recipe for the heavy oil. No, not yet. But I'm kind of thinking forward to how we could build this out, so I'm not going to have to completely redesign the whole thing again later on. Because right now, if I want to build in a cracking unit for heavy oil, I'm probably going to need to reserve the space for that. That's a very interesting problem. Oh, we're still really, really struggling with fuel. With power, rather. These are basically running full bore. What have I got? They're all priority 15, or should be. Oh, sorry. 13, 14, 15. Okay, so these would be 12. I don't want them to deliver directly to them. There's no point.